comments coming, by the way. Let's get into Hannaford, because I know that's what a lot of y'all is here for. Now, I gagged because a friend of mine sent me this post earlier. I was like, oh, I can't wait to get to this story. Now, we already, wore out the whole situation about the This Is Me era is a flop. The upcoming tour, which starts literally next month, so next week. I don't know the exact date off the top of my head, but I know June is when the new tour kicks off. Tickets are still ticketing. The struggle is real. The album went nowhere. Nobody cared. She risked a whole lot, her own money, $20 million to put together that musical. Look, even to this day, I still struggle to figure out what the hell that was. I don't know if is it a musical? Is it autobiographical? She really didn't look. I always say as an artist, if you can't tell me flat out what the hell it is that you're trying to sell the audience, Molly, you in danger, girl. Like, we don't know what the tea is. So the movie and all that other stuff came out, it flopped. I didn't even care enough to watch the documentary, but I heard things about it. People talked about it. I didn't care enough to sit and watch her being filmed by her husband and him being the loving, adoring husband or whatever. And now we heard, because the album and everything flopped, that her marriage is struggling. She released the movie Atlas over the weekend. It is like #1 in 67 countries, from what I believe. Is that 67 is a number. Congratulations, it's successful in that way. However, I need to see numbers. Like, Netflix could say whatever the hell it is that they want, but what does that mean? Okay, it's #1 in 67 countries. So how many people actually watch the whole movie? Or are you counting how many people watched a couple of seconds of it or half of the movie and then be like, okay, this movie is trash, I'm checking out. We already saw the numbers online. The movie got 17%. The audience score definitely outweighs the critical score. I saw a lot of the critical reviews. A lot of people did not like the movie. I watched the movie. The movie was fine. I mean, Atlas did what it did. I feel like all the other stuff that I've seen in that, what I saw in the movie, I've seen in other films and better films. Particularly, you're going to see stuff. You can watch them like, okay, that's some Aliens, that's some Battlestar Galactica, that's some Star Wars, that's some this, that's some that. But that's no different than Rebel Moon. Although I will say this, Atlas is a way better movie than Rebel Moon. Rebel Moon is fucking unwatchable. I don't even know how I sat. Well, I didn't really sit. I actually had it on in the background while I was working. So I wasn't really watching it. I would glance up every now and again and, like, okay, cute or whatever. The special effects and all of the stuff wasn't giving what needed to be given. Although I will say this, I did sit and pay attention to Atlas. So that was the one thing. J-Lo, you brought me in. I watched the movie. I enjoyed it for what it was. Is it a movie that I'm going to watch repeatedly? No. Is it like something that I'm going to watch more than once? Like, well, I already said I wouldn't watch it repeatedly, so I don't need to compare it to anything else. But it's just like, it's not something that I would rewatch. But with that being said, I remember that the reporter, when she was over in Mexico, asked her about Ben, and she got upset. She was like, you know better than that. And it's like, no, they're pretty brutal over there in Mexico. They don't care. They will ask you. Like the Brits. The Brits is shady too, what they report. And maybe in America, we all about kiss ass and kiss assery and because y'all want to get that interview, whatever the case is. But for the most part, people in overseas, they don't give a fuck how famous you are. They're gonna ask you the tea. So it said, Jennifer Lopez was recently in talks for a 90-minute Las Vegas residency, but the blockbuster deal now looks shaky at best as her new album and upcoming concert tour are flopping badly. Now, this is according to the Daily Mail. And, we've been sourcing the Daily Mail a lot on this show when it comes up to the latest on what's going on with Hannaford. So back in February, reports hit the web that the Jenny from the Block songstress, 54, was being eyed for a 90-show residency at the Park MGM Theater in Sin City, for which she was reportedly being offered $1 million per concert. Now, here's the thing. Before I get to the rest of that, why was this the first time I'm hearing about this? Because all the articles that I've been referencing made no mention of her doing a residency in Vegas. In fact, when this tea came out about her and this tour, I was like, why the hell are you doing a tour? You should just go back to doing a residency, because the last residency you did relatively well. Why is she trying to tour the world? Or not even tour the world. She's touring North America, and she can't even sell out North America. But she has a better chance of pulling a Cher. But Cher back in the day, Cher only went and did Vegas back in the day when her career was kind of like in the toilet. So that was kind of like the music artist graveyard at the time. Now Vegas is different, where it's like everybody goes pretty much there to do shows. Celine Dion, Adele, Erica Jane. We should probably put her in that same category. But look, she's famous enough that she could do a Vegas residency, right? And Usher, so many others. Hell, I said Justin Timberlake need to do one next. But it says, but now the New York Post has claimed that the deal looks shaky at best, with a source claiming that casino executives have grown skittish since the singer's new album and tour are flopping badly. The source told the publication, MGM is watching her not do well on the road. They are very nervous. It's pretty rare you have poor tour and then go to Vegas. The insider further theorized that the lack of ticket sales will likely lead to her being paid significantly less for the residency. So they're saying that they're probably going to pay her $1,600, maybe $500,000. I said 1,600. I meant 600,000 to $500,000 per show, and that it will include less concerts than the 90 shows that were originally planned. So, in my opinion, I said, like, if they're not going to give her $1 million, and this is why I said, girl, you should just sign on and do another Vegas residency. That's pretty much a sure bet. Like, with her doing a residency, because it's like, oh, it's Jennifer Lopez. People will go there and watch her give a full-on show while, you're sitting at a table, you're drinking, eating, whatever the case is. Kind of like similar to what Kylie Minogue was doing at the Voltaire. And you pay her $500,000 per show. And you give her the bells and whistles, whatever it is that she needs, famous, flashy costumes, a cute little stage, lots of razzle dazzle, all that other stuff. And then if you can prove that you can continue to bring these audiences in, which Kylie Minogue herself has proven taking over Vegas, then they're like, oh, well, we have a residency here for you whenever you want. And you can do whatever you want here for life, which is what Kylie Minogue has at the Voltaire. She now, because she has proven to be a commodity, a hot commodity, and she's able to bring in an audience, because a lot of people think that Kylie Minogue is like just overseas and that she doesn't have a big American audience. Plus, y'all be acting like people don't travel from Australia and other places to come into America with a passport or whatever to come see a show. That people come here all the time to bring up revenue, travel, all that other stuff. So Jennifer Lopez could have been the same thing. People would have came to see her. But as far as like traveling around the world, I didn't see that as people cared enough to go see her. So they said another added that the discussions have continued with Jennifer and the MGM, but that no deal has been signed yet. Now, the Daily Mail has reached out to Jennifer's rep and the MGM for comment. The Mirror was the first to report that J.Lo was gearing up for a dazzling Vegas residency in early February. And then it said, All I Have run from 2016 to 2018 was one of the biggest residencies ever in Las Vegas, a source said at the time. That was with Caesar's Palace, but MGM have come in to get this new show to the Park Theater. The talks were ongoing with a real hope that she will be signed up and announced later this year. It will be a real coup for the park and a huge deal to have one of the biggest stars on the planet back in the city. But weeks later, things began to go downhill for her when it was announced that she had canceled shows across 7 cities for a highly anticipated tour, which is set to kick off in late June. She asked all scheduled dates between August 22nd to August 30th in Nashville, New Orleans, Raleigh, Atlanta, Houston, Cleveland, and Tampa. And they said no cause of explanation for the cancellation has been provided, but the performer, low ticket sales. Nobody cared. They said in early April was revealed that the tour, which is set to be her first tour in 5 years, because she toured for her birthday, which when she turned 50, and it was the It's My Party tour, whatever the case was. That did well because she had a theme around it. It was her birthday. And also, I think the tea about her and that attitude and all of the stuff wasn't out like it is now. Because I don't think, like, with TikTok being as influential as it is today, was a thing back then. So she was able to get away with that whole illusion that she's like this iconic diva mystery type, even though we heard the stories about her being a nuisance towards service people and regular people who she looks at as beneath her. So it says the source told Daily Mail afterwards that the rebrand was expected to draw in fans from her previous work and lure in listeners that didn't connect with This Is Me Now, which I said from the beginning, I don't know why she decided to do a This Is Me Now, because This Is Me then wasn't even cute. First of all, it was too R&B, too, like, girl, you are not Mariah Carey. You do not have the vocals of Adele. You are somebody whose vocals is about as thin as Donald Trump's hairline. You should have just stuck with the rivers and the lakes that you're used to, which was you were a dance girl, you're a dance pop girl, and that's what people want to see. They want to see you dance, and you should have did the Spanish music stuff. You should have leaned more into dance pop and Latin pop. And that's what she should have did. Instead, she want to come out here and try to prove that she can sing, because the problem with a lot of American artists is that y'all can't take a hint. Y'all egos be too damn big, and y'all don't understand your limitations. And it's just like, no, you are not a girl. You cannot do a yang, yang, yang like your, Shantae Moore or Mariah Carey or Fantasia. You cannot blow like that. Like, everybody has their lane. Mariah Carey does what she does. She's a great singer, can't dance for shit, which is why she don't. Y'all just dip her without trying to hurt your back and all this other stuff with Mariah, and y'all keep it moving. The same thing with J-Lo. J-Lo dances, but them vocals, you turn that back and track up real high, you turn her mic down low, and she sit up there and pretend that she she lip sync for her life like she a drag queen. Same thing with Britney. We know Britney can't seem to say her like she fucked up her voice because she want to do that the vocal fry and the baby voice and all the other stuff. Listening to them damn studio people, and that fucked up her voice, because at one point Britney could carry a tune, Britney could sing, but now them vocals were struggling because she kept she had to do that for like 2 hours through a show. What are you doing? You're fucking up your voice. That's not even a natural singing voice. So she messed her voice up. And to me, with this whole thing with Jennifer Lopez, because let me pull this up, because I always got to use this to make a point. So they're showing like the New York show, because with me working at Madison Square Garden, I have to show y'all the screen. So here is the picture of all this blue is apparently seats that are still available. And this is for the second. So the stage is here, and I guess she has her long runway and all this other stuff, and all this blue. Damn, this is even down on the floor, like literally on the sides of. I wonder if this is from where the stage is. I think right here is section A, and this might be section E. This is section F. This might be section B. And C, I believe this is funny how I'm looking at this and I could tell the sections of Madison Square Garden. And this is like the 100s right here. Then you have like the 200s. I can't tell exactly here where the bridge and stuff is. But anyway, so all that blue that you can see up in there is what's available. And I feel like at this point, she's still struggling to sell tickets. And they said, well, blocks of seating still available in multiple venues. And, this is according to official seat maps on Ticketmaster and resale sites scalping tickets for as little as $10. So look, if y'all want to go see J-Lo, you could pay $10 to see her live. Look, people was getting mad when they were talking about Megan, or trying to make fun of Megan Thee Stallion because she was charging people $25. I'm like, shit, if a ticket is cheap, I'm taking my ass to go see it. What's the point of being out here bragging that you spent $300, $600, or $1,500 on a ticket to see somebody? I got bills. Sorry. But me working at the Garden, I see shows for free. So I don't have to worry as much. But I'm concerned about the people and what y'all got to pay. And she was out her damn mind because she was charging a shit ton of money to see her. Like the meet and greets and stuff, I heard was like $3,000. And I'm like, sis, who paying that? You and I Beyonce. No shade. I'm just saying, even though you be trying to copy her Beyonce with the diva fan and the way she postures on stage. And look, at one point, she was trying to, she looked to Madonna and Taylor Swift as inspiration for how she could, I guess, get her show to what it needs to be. And I'm like, the difference between Madonna and Taylor Swift and Beyonce and with them three, and then we're gonna put, we'll put them here, and Jennifer Lopez is here. The difference between them and her is the fact that Beyonce, Madonna, and Taylor Swift have spent years, decades building their fandom, building their audience. Their fans have gone along with them, and they've, built generations of fans and taken them with them, and they've gone on that journey. Jennifer Lopez, she's a jack of all trades, master of none. So she's a singer one day, an actor the next day, a producer the next day, a businesswoman the next day, meaning you got all these damn products you selling, and you don't be focusing enough on one thing for the fans. Even like, you got all these balls in the air juggling, and you haven't figured out, like you haven't zoned in on one thing. And maybe that was good back in the day, because back in the day, it wasn't as drastic as it is. And now it's like everything, everybody doing 50 million things. But back in the day when it was frowned upon that you was a singer, an actor, an entrepreneur, businesswoman, all these other things, that was in the beginning stages when you were starting out in your career. You was doing all those multitasking things, and it was relatively new. Now it's like everybody's doing it. So you get lost in the sauce. And so you haven't really taken the time to grow your fans and grow your audience with your music. You haven't evolved with your music. You just be putting shit out there and just throwing it at the wall, hoping it sticks, and then thinking that people support you. Now, I know she has a hardcore Jennifer Lopez fans, whatever. But if we talking about like on a bigger scale, I just don't feel like that her fandom and her audience is as big as, the Beehive, or as loyal as the Beehive, or as the Swifties, or as, what does Madonna call her? The Rebel Hearts. I guess that's the name. We'll just give them that. The Celebrators, because she had the Celebration door, but we'll go with the Rebel Hearts. So that was another thing too. Like, you haven't really grown your audience. Now maybe you could get more real with everybody and authentic and stuff with the music and everything by taking us on that journey. We'll see how the show goes once it finally comes out. But you know what? I almost feel sorry for Jennifer Lopez, but then again, not really, because of all the tea that I've heard about her and the way she's treated people. It makes it hard for me to have empathy for her. But I just think this is just a reality. And you know what? She's not the only one that's struggling. I remember Robert and I was having a conversation. He was telling me the Sweat Tour is struggling, which is Charlie XCX and Troye Sivan. And I like them, but in the back of my head, I was like, are they arena artists? Even Shy Girl, like I listen to her music too, but I'm like, how is she gonna make that whole what she does? Because she's another one that does like the hyper pop and all that stuff. How you gonna make that work in a whole arena setting? Because Shy Girl don't be up there with like a full back group of dancers or whatever. Like when I saw the Megan Thee Stallion one, Glorilla had like dancers. She was giving choreography. She was doing all of that. So I guess Shy Girl gonna have to come up there with her type of music, and she's gonna have to kind of give that. Like if you're gonna do an arena tour, you got to give arena type show. And as much as I like Charlie XCX and as much as I like Troye Sivan, who I'm hoping the latter, Troy, is remixing a lot of his songs, because a lot of his songs are really slow. He don't really do a lot of dance music. So I'm hoping if you're going to be doing a club type show, you're going to have to remix a lot of your hits, which we've seen artists do before. So I don't know how she's going to make this. I'm really hoping that the tour does well, because I like Charlie XCX or whatever, but I'm a little worried about this Sweat Tour, because he showed me the Phoenix dates, and child, them seats is looking a little J-Lo-ish. So I say all that to say, because whenever we do the whole Jennifer Lopez stuff, it becomes a lot. It becomes a whole breakdown. I feel like at this point I'm a broken record when I'm talking about her, but it's always something. And you know what? Maybe this is just the reality, is that she really hasn't put, but it's also her fault. She didn't really put as much work into securing her music career and fan base as she did with her film career and stuff, or as a lot of these other artists are. And I don't feel like that a younger generation is into Jennifer Lopez, like they've just started discovering. Like, Taylor Swift still has that finger on the pulse of the younger kids, and she's got the people her age and people older and that sort of thing. So I don't feel like she has that impact musically, because she really hasn't solidified herself as being up there with those girls. Now, she do put on a good damn show, and she is an amazing performer. But like I said, she hasn't solidified herself in the same way in the music scene that Madonna, Beyonce, and Taylor Swift have. So I'll say all that to say, let me know what you guys think of this story down below.